Destroy it!
No.
Isildur!
The fate of Middle-earth came down to a single step. Isildur had already done the impossible. He had defeated the Dark Lord himself, cut the ring from the hand of Sauron. The war was won. The world was saved. All that remained was to let it fall. One movement, one decision. So why didn't he destroy it? Why, standing in Mount Doom, did he refuse? Was it weakness or something else? Because what if Isildur didn't truly have a choice? What if the ring had already begun to shape his mind the moment he claimed it? For centuries, this has been called a failure. But the truth is far more disturbing. Because if you go back to the oldest records, the scrolls Isildur himself wrote, a far more unsettling truth begins to emerge. Isildur didn't just fail, he never truly had a chance. Welcome back to the channel, let's get started.
When Isildur took the ring, I was there the day the strength of men failed.
When Isildur took the ring, it wasn't just a trophy, it was alive. The One Ring was not a passive weapon. It had a will, an extension of Sauron's own mind, designed for one purpose, to return to its master. And it didn't need centuries to begin its work. It started immediately. In the aftermath of the battle, Isildur described the ring not as a tool, but as something precious, something that felt rightfully his. That word should sound familiar, because thousands of years later, another bearer, Gollum, would use the exact same language. This wasn't coincidence. This was the ring's influence, embedding itself into Isildur's thoughts before he even understood what it was. And here's the key detail most people miss. Isildur did not yet know the full truth of the ring. He didn't know it could only be destroyed in the fires of Mount Doom. To him, this was not a final chance to end evil forever. It was something else entirely. To understand why Isildur refused to destroy the ring, you have to look at what he had just lost. His father, Elendil, lay dead on the battlefield. The High King of Arnor and Gondor, gone in the very moment of victory. And in that silence after the war, Isildur didn't just inherit a kingdom, he inherited grief. This is where the story changes, because Isildur didn't see the ring as a threat. He saw it as a were-guild, a compensation for his father's death. A concept deeply rooted in ancient tradition, where loss demanded repayment, and the ring became that repayment. But this is where the influence of the ring becomes almost impossible to separate from Isildur's own thoughts. Was this truly his reasoning? Or was the ring guiding him toward a justification he would never question? Because the genius and horror of the ring lies in this. It doesn't force you, it convinces you. By the time Isildur stood at the crack of doom, he wasn't resisting destruction out of arrogance. He believed completely that keeping the ring was the right thing to do. When Isildur stood within Mount Doom, the fate of the world hung in perfect balance. With him were Elrond and Círdan, both witnessing what should have been the end of Sauron forever. They urged him to cast it into the fire. End it. Here. Now. The air itself seemed to press down on him, heat rising from the cracks below, the fire roaring like a living thing. This was the last step, the final moment where everything could be undone. Behind him, Elrond saw only one path forward, one simple act that would end it all.
Isildur!
But Isildur didn't feel simplicity. He felt certainty, because by this moment, the One Ring had already reframed everything in his mind. It wasn't a weapon of the enemy. It was a symbol of victory, of sacrifice, of inheritance. The ring didn't feel like a burden. It felt like an answer, a final piece of something he had already decided. And the closer he stood to the fire, the more impossible it became to let it go. This is what makes the scene so tragic. From the outside, it looks like hesitation. From the inside, it was certainty. Isildur didn't pause because he was unsure. He refused because he believed he was right. And that's the true power of the ring. It doesn't create conflict, it erases it. If you enjoyed the video so far, don't forget to drop a like. If Isildur's refusal was the beginning, then the end came swiftly. 2 years later, at the disaster of the Gladden Fields, everything the ring had been working toward finally unfolded. Ambushed and overwhelmed, Isildur made one last desperate choice. He put on the ring, and for a moment, it worked. He vanished, slipped away, escaped into the waters of the Anduin. It should have saved him, but the ring was never trying to save Isildur. It was trying to leave him. At the exact moment he needed it most, the ring betrayed him, slipping from his finger, breaking the illusion, exposing him to his enemies. Arrows followed, the river turned silent, and just like that, the man who had defeated Sauron was gone. But this wasn't a sudden act of treachery. It was the final step in a plan that began the moment he claimed it. The ring didn't abandon Isildur. It used him until it no longer needed him.
Just let it go!
By the time we reach the end of Isildur's story, a deeper question begins to surface. Did he ever truly have a chance? Because when you look across the history of the One Ring, a pattern becomes impossible to ignore. No one willingly destroys it. Not Isildur, not any who came before.
Hurry, sis, hurry. Very lucky we find you.
And even thousands of years later, when the burden falls to Frodo Baggins, the outcome is the same. At the final moment, he cannot let it go. After everything, the journey, the suffering, the weight he carried farther than anyone else ever could, he still claims it for himself. In that final second, standing in the same fire where Isildur once stood, the difference between them disappears. Because this is the truth that reframes everything. The ring doesn't rely on strength or weakness. It works on everyone. It studies, adapts, and reshapes the mind of whoever carries it, turning their greatest virtues into the very reason they fail. For Isildur, it was honor, grief, duty. For Frodo, it was endurance, compassion, hope, different paths, leading to the same end. And that's what makes Isildur's story so important. Because it was never about a man who failed. It was about a power that was never meant to be resisted.
I was there, Gandalf. I was there 3,000 years ago.
Isildur didn't fail. He proved something. The One Ring cannot be willingly destroyed. Not by him, not by anyone. In the end, the ring didn't betray Isildur in a single moment on the river. It betrayed him from the very beginning, on the battlefield where he first claimed it. And everything that followed was already set in motion. If you like this kind of video, join the channel and leave a like for more content like this. It really helps me out. Thanks for watching, and as always, see you on the next one.
One ring to rule them all.